I don't think we're going to be streaming.
We can still look at each other, right?
I guess I'd rather just close that up and pop my shirt off. The only reason I wear a shirt on Monday nights is like, oh, I have to do the things. Big show, big important show. Do you take your glasses off for the show?
Sometimes if the glare is just right, it'll just make the whole thing go white.
Your camera feed?
Like the reflection off my glasses, if it hits the camera just right.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll go like
too
dark or too light. And with the lights like in my face like this, I got that like blue tint in them, and I just see like blue lights because it's shining off my eyes and reflecting back in. It's like hard for me to see.
It looks cool. It looks cool on this end. It's like you got some fucking high tech gadget glasses.
Do I look like a German scientist? Let me explain the engineering behind the Counter-Strike servers.
Everybody that I've played Counter-Strike with in the last couple of weeks, because you're like, maybe we'll play Counter-Strike.
Oh.
No, nobody seems to like it. Like you're like, it's changed. Cryptic Ninja was like, he complains about everything. And Kinetics, even Kinetics, who he doesn't really complain about much. And he's just like, I hate it. It changed it. 1.6 was the best.
Isn't been
Counter-Strike.
The Counter-Strike standard for like eight or 9 years though.
That's the one he likes.
That's fine. I think we could still play 1.6. I think it's still up.
That's neat.
Yeah. Okay, because that sounded like neat. when you were like, cool.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, they let you play. They let you play past like versions.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's still up.
Like who's doing that?
1.6 was the first version for Steam, and it's still on Steam to this day. Crazy. Video games. I want to play more. I want to play horror. It's so hard
video
not to say horror.
For me, because every time I do it, you're like,
games.
Horrors.
Night
so I
Trap.
have to get my fat jowls to get that second syllable in. Horror video games this month. It's October 1st, and I'm ready. I'm ready. Take me, spirits. Take me, spooky ghosts. Take me.
Take me, spooky.
I don't know where. Take me. I fucking Halloween decorated the rat cage. I was going to say I was going to decorate, my room and the front, but I don't really have stuff for human entertainment. That's all just for the rat cage. I should go to the dollar store, get some fucking, I don't know, black and white garland. What do they have? What's the decorations for people? That's all like melted together.
It just tastes like pure sugar.
I didn't know candy corn.
I don't know what
candy.
I've heard.
Jim,
I always called it candy corn growing up, but I've heard so many people say corn candy that I don't know what it is.
I've never heard corn candy. Where? Like, is this did you ever hear it in Lansing, or is this since you moved out to the fucking sticks when they're like, I want some corns candies?
No, I just feel like no matter where I lived growing up, like half the people would say candy corn and half the people would say corn candy. But it was always like the people I didn't like said corn candy.
This like the one episode where we start real visual, and I'd love to have interaction for this right now. Asking some folks if they've ever heard corn candy. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have. And if this is one of those things where I'm the one out of the loop, I don't like it.
We're out of the loop about the flat.
I don't like when that happens.
That. I know.
I looked it up.
Copped to it right
You know
away,
what people said? No, well, the first website said it was like, yeah, it's fine. It's it's your head. You bend it. Then I looked at it a couple more. See, this is why you can't just read the first thing and take it as gospel. A lot of what they were saying is that it doesn't keep. They're saying it doesn't keep.
Well, that's why you
bent the fold. And I'm like, I'm not buying a hat. I'm fucking trying to manipulate it every time I'm going out. Like I'm pumping up my fucking sneakers. Like, hang on.
What you have to do. I'll show you. I'll show you what you have to do. Hey, can someone up there bring me my hat?
Because we were having a real thick argument we're playing games and talking about baseball hats, and I don't like those flat brim hats. I think they look stupid.
I'm trying to get it down here
But
so I can show, because even though you people listening can't see it because we're not streaming tonight, Dale and I still want to see each other because we're so used to seeing each other once a week. We have to do it now, so I can show him the technique. Where's that hat? It's right by the couch. Bring it down here.
I'm just curious to see what kind of hat it is, because sometimes I'll see the flat brim hat and I like the design and I want it real bad. Everything looks cool except for that fucking flat brim part. And I'd like to believe that you can just like you take 5 minutes, you bend it, and you're good to go for the rest of your life. If that's the case, I mean, I'll cop to that, and I will believe that.
I will say, like, a cheaper
you know what? Maybe
hat.
I'll get one at the thrift
trucker
store.
Hat and try to do that, it wouldn't work. It would like either fold in half and crease like a piece of cardboard, but like a real fitted, genuine knit wool cap, whatever they are, those work. And now my son said, I can't find it. It's not up here. I want you to count the seconds from when I'm gone to when I come back with the hat, because I told him exactly where it was. It's next to the couch by the railing. Ready? Go.
Here we go. It's a 1. It's I don't know, 2. 2's after 1. 3.
Okay.
We'll say it's
so I have it.
12.
So it's a White Sox cap, okay? And what you do is, when you bend it, you fold it in, you store it like this.
Okay. You store it, so you gotta fucking tuck it within itself.
If you leave it like that for a little bit, look, it's just good to go.
All right, now show that to me straight on. You're doing a lot of movements with this.
Now, to be fair, this one may not have been flat when I got it.
But for fuck's, here's a curved hat that's curved.
This isn't a regular like playing cap. But the black and white White Sox fitted caps that I had, like the genuine ones they wear on the field, came flat. Now, so you bend your brim, and when you store it,
bending it,
you like squeeze it and like fold it into the hat like that.
God. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. So
breaks it in.
Breaks it in. I will go to the thrift store. I will buy one of those. I'll buy a couple, just to test it out. He's trying to put his hat on top of his headset. He forgot his headset was on. That was great. You can play it off. You can play it off like you didn't know your headset was on.
One?
But your headset was on. Ooh. See, that's got like a triangle. That's got like a triangle.
You can see. I'll show you really close. I tried to crease it more, and it just like gets like a hard angle right there. You can't mess with this.
That's what they were.
That's not gonna work. But that's
okay. See,
that's too sweet. That hat.
NWO hat. All right, folks. Look, this is episode 39, and I'm really gonna need you guys to go to our Facebook page, and let me know what your experience and your knowledge of flat brimmed hats and curving them up. Is that a thing, or is Jim I think Jim's just going rogue. He's just like, no, you can do whatever you want. It's your hat.
Well, that's also true. And tell me if you've ever heard someone say corn candy.
Corn candy.
I don't like corn candy. I don't like saying it that way. I don't like eating it. So I combine the two things because I don't like it, and I don't like when people call it corn candy.
I forgot. I was getting there, and then I got distracted by corn candy. I always thought that candy corn was very popular. It might not be everyone's favorite, but like no one's gonna deny. Like, oh, you got some of that? I almost said it. Candy corn. You got some of that candy corn? Yeah. Well, give me a little handful of that. Yes, it's waxy and stuff, but it's more than tolerable. I always thought, but it's come to my attention that a lot of people don't like this.
I ate it when I was little.
And you're one of them.
When I was little because I'd eat any candy that you handed me. Chuckles and like the shittiest candy. I'm like, well, it's candy. What am I gonna not eat it? But no, as like from like 10 on, I don't think I ate a piece. Like, no, that shit's disgusting. Give me chocolates.
Have you heard about this thing called a Butterfinger?
God, so good.
Give me one of them
That reminds me.
Butterfingers.
I tried.
Oh, here we go.
I tried to play the odds on the vending machine at work. So it's got an infrared sensor at the bottom, and if you buy something, there's a timer. It'll rotate the little thing and try and push the product out. And then if the infrared sensor doesn't trip, it turns a little more because it knows it didn't fall. It turns a little more. Nothing tripped the sensor. It turns a little more. Every once in a while, I may have talked about this part of it. Every once in a while, you'll get lucky. There's two that are pretty close. One on the end is sort of stuck, and it turns a little more, boom, double drop. It's like double XP weekend.
Oh, yeah, the old double drop.
So there was this bag of cookies just dangling there. A whole bag of cookies, like generic Oreos, but like there's like 12 of them in a bag, and it's like the same price as everything else in the vending machine, just dangling there. And I'm looking what's above it, and there's a heavy bag of fruit snacks. You know, all the weights in the bottom, fruit snacks. And I'm like, I don't even really want these cookies, but I feel like I can get them for free. And I bought the fruit snacks that I didn't want, and it dropped, and it hit the cookies, and then the cookies didn't fall, and I ended up with some fruit snacks I didn't want. And I didn't even get the cookies.
Oh, man. So the cookies were below
cookies
it?
were below, and
They were one rung.
the cookies
one
were
rung below
below.
it. Okay, you were
and
hoping
the
for a
fruit snacks,
smackdown.
I looked above, and I'm like, chips, no, not heavy enough. And I'm like, what's got some weight to it in the, sort of all loaded together, the bag of fruit snacks. And it sort of skipped off of the bag of cookies, and the bag of cookies moved a little bit more, but not enough to fall. And I was so disappointed.
Yeah, because then you get some generic fruit
what,
snack,
though?
and
They were good.
that's no good.
They were tasty. They were like Gushers, but not over the top like that. But they had like a little bit of...
No,
they were generic. Totally generic.
Gooshers.
But they were good.
Goosh. Give me those gooshers.
You're such a goosher sometimes, man.
Give me those gooshers. I saw
That's gonna be
a
trending on Pornhub.
sign.
This goosher.
Gooshers. Yeah, I've been really into goosher videos lately. Just
What is it? Well, you have to see it. You have to see it. I can't describe it.
As a man, it's not really my place to
It's
explain that to
cisgender.
you. I saw a sign. It was on a Comcast van when I was driving. I saw a sign. It was on the back of
Did it
this
say going
Comcast
to Lowell,
van.
Indiana
And,
to install Jim's new internet?
oh no, is this going to be a fucking like segue handoff
will
when I'm
be.
done? This is going to be good. I might have seen this hundreds of times, but for some reason, this is the first time I've noticed it. Comcast, back of it, little bumper sticker kind of sticker, sign says, "Driver does not carry cash," and I went, "Oh, because I know why
Right.
that's there." Jim,
So
why
they
is
don't-
that there?
To deter robbers.
To deter robbers. And it didn't look like, here's our Comcast brand, "Don't rob us" sticker. Like it was haphazardly slapped on there. And I'm thinking, I think he put it on there. I think this guy got robbed probably a couple times if he's ordering the bumper
Now,
stickers off
let
the
me
internet.
ask you this, because there are two types of Comcast vehicles. There are the real legit Comcast corporate vehicles, and then there are the ones, as our listener friend John put it, you're not just going to send some guy out here in a truck with a magnet on the side of his truck that says Comcast, right? There are the contractors that just subcontract for Comcast, and it's just like a vinyl magnet that sticks to the side that says Comcast on it.
No, he seemed like a big boy. He had the ladders
like
and
the
all the
paint
equipments and all that.
Logo on the side. It wasn't just like a
Yes, it was.
little thing on the door.
Yeah, so yeah, these guys are getting robbed, especially this guy, and that's that bummed me out. It bummed me out because our buddy Mason, he does like utility work. He's always out in the field in these bad neighborhoods, and he'll tell a horror story of some coworkers, getting a little roughed up at gas stations and stuff. And it's weird to me. I never considered these people as targets, because even like in my most shithead train of thought, I put those people as off limits.
Oh yeah.
But I guess the criminal
Well,
element does not.
as a point of sale technician for a long time, I had to go in really, really dog shit neighborhoods. And not dog shit, like, I know not all the people that live there were dog shit, but like crime ridden areas. And I had to walk into a business like on the west side of Chicago and walk out with a cash register and walk it to my car.
Mm. And
I also had to take, like, people would just count cash in front of the window, like in front of the counter, just here's the $600. And then I had to like put it in an envelope and walk past everyone in the lobby and then walk to my car outside. So I always carried cash. And I thought, how could you see a guy walking around with a cash register in whatever, North and Cicero, and then be like, hey, I wonder if he's got cash in there, walking around with it. Or like Lake Street, like Lake and Central or something, like some really shitty areas. And I'm like, can you count this in the back, please? They're just like 100, 200, hey, 300, 400. I'm like, all of these people are going to see me with all this money. I wouldn't want in any neighborhood. I hated that. But it always seemed to be like in the shitty neighborhoods, they would just count it right out in the open. Like, fuck you. Like I almost thought sometimes the business owners were like trying to get me robbed and like, can I get half of that back? And like, you keep half, I keep half, he gets robbed. We'll call it even.
That's a good skill. Or they just didn't like you, giving you that troll move.
It's like spraying,
like, oh my,
menstruation juice on me, and there's grizzly bears everywhere or something.
Yeah, I love that prank that they did at Jackass 3.0 when he sprayed him with the menstrual blood and the bear got him. Oh, Steve-O. See the cash register part though. I had to walk out with a cash register. I think you'd probably be better off in that situation, because if I was a criminal and I'm outside and I'm smoking and I'm up to no good smoking, that's what they do. Oh, we smoke. And I saw a guy walk out with a cash register. I wouldn't think, it's a target, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna be like, look how fucking cavalier this guy is, just walking out. He's not even rushing. He's just walking right up to his car with that cash. This guy, he's crazy. These white people are crazy.
What burglar local are you?
And not that you would do it, because it's it's not you're not going to put yourself in harm's way for the job, but I'd like to think a cash register is probably a real good weapon.
It's heavy enough to not want dropped on your foot.
So, could you overhead swing it, or would you have to do the Triple H sledgehammer?
I definitely could overhead swing it, but it wouldn't be worth it. Like it's not like it's so unwieldy that like it would be weird to.
How unwieldy is it?
So, like the top cover would fall off and the receipt paper would hit me in the head and like drape all over me. It's just like a big, you've seen them. You know what they look like. But if it was a bowling ball, you're like, well, this is sort of the weight's all condensed in this one thing. And this is just like a big, stupid box. I would just drop it and say, bye, I'm out of here, and run as fast as I can.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, man, that's messed up. So I'm glad you never got robbed or anything. It sounds like you got scot free on that one. So far, our buddy Mason hasn't been robbed, but this Comcast guy, I feel bad.
And I always feel like that's I don't know. If you put that on your vehicle, it's like saying I've been robbed before, so it's worth trying. Like, driver doesn't carry cash. Don't even think about robbing me again. Like, I feel like if you leave that off, maybe it's like that's better. Like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about robbing the Comcast guy.
Yeah, that's true. But there's also like everyone that I knew growing up, we didn't have like alarms in our homes, but we sure did have like the ADT stickers and shit. Like, yeah,
We
we're
had
so
we had the little thing
protected.
in our
Don't
lawn.
come in
It was like,
here.
hey, can I borrow that? Can I bum one of those off you?
So maybe they just do that. Like, we just preemptively don't waste your time. We don't have cash. When meanwhile he's got $300 in his fucking. But I don't think are you robbing these utility guys for their wallets, or are you going for
Equipment,
the
maybe.
goods? I'd be going for the yeah. I mean, I don't know what you would get from a lot of these other utility guys, but a Comcast guy. Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck he's got. Just don't rob people. Rob a
I'm
bank.
guessing
There's money there.
Once upon a time, it was probably commonplace for them to receive payment at the time of service for stuff. So, like, maybe there's some 70-year-old
sure.
robber out there that's like, oh, a Comcast guy's been collecting bills all day. I'm going to get him. Like, no, sir, we haven't done that in ages. It's all on the sticker. You should have seen it in the back.
What if, you're the Comcast guy and you go to Jim's house and you do a swell job and Jim's like, you know what, that was fucking smooth and quick. Here's a 10 spot as a tip. So now you got these criminals going, maybe this guy's got tip money. I know it's all digital payments, but maybe he's got some tip money. And he's, he looks charming. He's, he's probably getting a lot of tips. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe there's a lot of like subterfuge going on where it's like, hey, give me $20. I'll give you the extra package. You're not supposed to get it, but you give me a little something on the side. Because I remember in Dalton when Continental Cablevision got bought by like Media One or something, and like the guys were going in and installing new box. We used to have the boxes that were just black, and they had like the red numbers, and it was just channel up, channel down, like power. But then they came by like, here's this big box with like all the audio jacks, and it was like this big thing. It had a modem in it. Like when those guys were rolling that out, that guy tried to sell my stepdad pot. So maybe there's like a tradition of them carrying cash on them.
Tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe
he succeeded.
See, now I don't know the type of people who work at a Comcast. I like to think that they have their shit together, but now it sounds like maybe they're.
Do you like to think that?
The whole thing confuses me.
So my mom just moved, by the way, speaking of my stepdad, my mom in cable. And did I tell you that the Comcast guy drilled through her wall into her air conditioning power, and then she had no air for like 5 days?
You did tell me this part.
Shit together? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm moving soon. Right? Moving to Lowell, and it's
farther,
but it's closer for me for work and everything.
Oh boy! Oh, spring basketball next year is gonna suck for me.
Everywhere close to us, and by close I mean 500 feet away, confirmed from Comcast, 500 feet away, has internet service of some kind, AT&T, Comcast, something like that. The house is being built, and it's like a little piece of that section is new, and it's like our address doesn't exist yet. AT&T says no, can't have it. Comcast says no, can't have it. I said, look, when are you going to have it installed? Because we're moving. It's a real place. There's a real address. And like, I'm not going to give out my address here on the podcast for the tens of people that are going to hear it, but it's literally like 10 digits off. And if you look on a map, you type in the address. Like the lady at Comcast probably shouldn't have told me this, but she's like, "Oh, this address is on your street. They have service, so it's probably going to be soon." I'm like, "When?" I don't know. And then her manager's telling me, this is what he tells me. I go to the Comcast office. He says, "Well, it's, you're phase 7. I'm like, "What the fuck is phase 7?
Shit.
What's this? The MCU? You're phase 7. I felt like someone from S.H.I.E.L.D. was talking to me. You're OT level 8. There's nothing I can do for. I'm like, what does that mean? Phase 7. He's like, well, it means this is what he said. It means there's 6 phases before you. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Of the subdivision,
so
I'm like, what? What are you saying? When am I going to have internet? I can't say. It's
is
a
that-
weekend
was
right
that-
now. I'm like, I know it's a weekend. When can I call to find out? I don't know. You'll have to just try back.
Is phase 7 just their way of saying you're seventh in line?
It sounded like that at some point, but I'm like, we're the first unit there that's going to be ready. And then the lady, after this guy told me this, she's like, give me your address one more time. She types it in. Oh, well, yeah, right on that road, they have Comcast. So it's probably pretty soon. I'm like, but we're moving in 20 days. What's pretty soon? Because I talked to someone that lives in Lowell that lives in that subdivision when they were building theirs new. And he said, it was about 6 months before I had internet. And I said, what
Jesus.
are you talking about? Do you understand? I can't find. They're telling me just get HughesNet. That's what the developer's saying. I'm like, are you HughesNet?
Who?
HughesNet is satellite internet. So for twice the price of Comcast, you can get like a 20th of the service. You can get like 10 meg speed, and it's on a 2-second delay because it's a satellite out in outer space.
It's a satellite.
I'm like, no, that's not an option. You might as well have told me
That'd
you
be
could
fucking
just send
hilarious.
your data via pigeons.
Yeah. Just play
It
Overwatch
says
on
right
the cloud.
on HughesNet's website, cannot play games like Overwatch. What was the other game? It's like Overwatch and Destiny. I'm like, oh. So they've had this complaint before.
That's. Oh, yeah. They're just putting it. Please don't ask.
So I'm like,
Please do not ask.
You don't
Phase
understand.
7.
My kids plays Fork Knife all the time. I'm playing Overwatch. I was like, I podcast. I stream online. I said, my wife and I both work at a school. We teach. We do work from home. I can't not have internet. Yeah, it's it's gonna take a bit. What? It's right. It's 500 feet away. 500 feet away.
See, this is the problem with the monopoly that they have, because they're literally saying, we don't want your money right now. I'm sure we'll get it, but
it's not worth our time.
They can
to
put you on
this
hold
for you yet.
Because with just about anything else, you could say, you know what? If you don't want to do this for me, I'll go somewhere else who will. And
yeah, because AT&T's like, oh no, we're not doing those
you're not
lines
gonna go to
either.
Hugh.
And all the other competitors piggyback off their lines anyway. You know, like RCN doesn't have their own cable lines; they lease Comcast lines. And like you're saying, this is the problem you get when you let the free market work itself out. Well, the free market goes, it's not worth our time to go install this for 4 people. So we'll wait till there's 400 people and then we'll install it. And you know what you can do? You can get fucked, and that's your only option. Now, if they treated this like a utility, like gas and electric, because it basically is these days, internet.
Yeah,
if they
I'm
treated
surprised
it like
it's
a
not.
utility and regulated it better, it would just have to be there. The lines, at least the infrastructure, the lines, and then whoever wanted to provide me service could provide me service. This is complete and utter bullshit.
So
I
you
have
don't
no
know.
idea if I'm going to have I'll have a cell phone. I'm thinking
Holy,
about
this
testing
is-
it out
this
one of
is
these
brutal.
weeks. You and I doing this with a cell phone to see how bad the connection's going to be, because that's all I'm going to have when we move. Because I guarantee you, of all Comcast,
At least the first week they're
at
gonna
least
fuck
the
it.
first week, Comcast is not going to have their shit together. You know how I know this? Because you can call them and say, I'm moving and I want to move my service.
Yeah, they have a whole supposed
and you
system
call
for this
them
shit.
and they go, yeah, what's your new address? Okay, put it in here, put it in the little website, and they go, okay. Well, I did mine. They're like, we're escalating this up the ladder to the level 2 movement specialists. So you'll hear back from them in 7 to 10 business days. You know what that means? They don't. The answer's not going to be yes. We'll move that for you. They're like, okay, maybe in 10 days they'll forget, and we'll make them call back again. That's all those are, by the way. 7 to 10 days. That means we don't want to answer your question or talk to you, and we'll see how diligent you are after 10 days of not hearing from us.
But when it comes to cable and internet, people are pretty diligent because we're addicted to it. We need it.
Need it. It's
necessity.
it's like saying you don't need a phone or you don't need you don't need gas in your house. You could have a wood burning stove. Yeah, but it's 2018. It's a utility. I need gas to run things. I need electricity. It's like saying you don't need electricity. You don't need electricity for what? Lights? Okay, you don't need lights. You could light a candle. That's what they did in the 1800s. This is where we're at now with internet, where it's just a given. I gotta have fucking internet.
I'm just happy that we're bashing Comcast because I feel like it's been a couple months since I've had a good go at an Xfinity Comcast. Had to bring back a cable box. I forgot about this. This is recent. Had to bring back a cable box remote. Here you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, you said you've been to the offices, the Comcast offices? I hadn't in a while. And at least this one, you can tell me how yours was. It was very nice. It was very bright, and there were seats and televisions, and sit down and watch the televisions. It's kind of like a fancy Verizon wireless type of
store. And you can go there, and they have like cell phones on display, right? And like, but they still have the DMV counter, but it's like nice and new looking
And it was kind of even that was good because that was in the back. So like the whole back wall, it was like bank
that's
teller
exactly how
booths.
this was.
And I was like that, and I was like, that's not bad because you can fit like 12 fucking workers, per booth there. I was like, this is actually not bad at all. However, this is Comcast. Walk in, hey, how are you? Just wanted to return this cable box. Okay, your name, Dale. All right, got you on the list. And I'm like, what? So I'm just like, I stand off to the side, and it takes me like 5 minutes to realize, like, oh, they're not just going to take this off my hands. This is going to be a whole thing. And like I said, they have the televisions and the monitors, and there's like the waiting list, and I was probably 16th. I know I was on the second screen. Because it's like 1 through 10, then 11 through 20, boom, boom. So I had to wait for the refresh of the second screen just to see my name. And I was like, oh, that's going to take a while. And it did. And I looked at all the new phones and all the little gadgets, and I sat down and I watched fucking The View. And about an hour later, it was my turn, and it was quick. It was just like, oh, what do you do? Returning this. It's like, all right, name, doing that. All right, have a good day. Here's a receipt. Goodbye. It's like, why couldn't we just do that when I walked in? Now, if you're there and you're trying to set something up and I need to talk about my bill. If you're on some of that shit, yeah, what's your name? We'll get to you. We'll get you in the queue. But if you're fucking dropping off a thing, just have the fucking secretary person, the person that greets you, like, oh, okay, yeah, just. You gotta be kidding me! This company.
To the library, like I'm just returning some books. Okay, I'll have a seat right over there. What? I'm just giving you your shit back. Yeah, I know. We'll be with you in several hours. Excuse me. That's kind of how this was. So I went there because I thought maybe if I can yell at a person that's physically here. That's not really what I thought. What I thought was if I go to the office that's closest to where I'm moving. Maybe the actual, because if you call the number, it's just like, thank you for calling Comcast. And I'm like, I don't got time for this shit.
Oh, yeah, it's the worst.
So if I go to the local office, maybe they'll say like, oh, call Bill on Tuesday. He's in charge of new deployment or whatever, right? I walk in, he's holding his little laptop. What can I do for you today? Hell yeah, thank you, Comcast. Oh, yeah, okay. What's your address that you're moving to? Okay, I've got your house code here. I'm going to send it on to the back. Denise, I sent you a house code. And I go back there, and she asks me for my address again. And she's doing all this shit, and she can't find it. And he goes back there. He goes, no, I gave you the house code. See, you type that code in. No, click that. Nope, now highlight all that. Backspace. Keep backspacing. Now, the thing I just get, I'll just read it to you. 496812978 Like, God, you can't copy and paste shit? How dumb are you? Anyway, she does all that shit and then still is like, yeah, we don't know. You're phase 7. And then he's like, yeah, it's phase 7 at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
And then the door's locked and a red siren went off. There's we got a phase
What does
7.
this mean? And then she hand types my address in anyway and goes, well, someone right down the street has service, so it shouldn't be too long. And I was like, why did that take 20 minutes?
Oh, you see, those are the situations, Jim, that I love, because once you figure out that they're incompetent and they're maybe a dumb person, I don't believe a single word that comes out of their mouth. Even if that person told you, oh yeah, you're going to have it at this date at this time, I would call the next day to fucking confirm.
Of course I would. Of course I would.
100 times. 100 times this has happened where somebody, and you get that feeling that they don't really know what they're doing, but they're saying all the things you want to hear, making all the promises, and you're like, this is good, but I think they're a dum-dum. And you call back tomorrow and you confirm. And more often than not, they fucked something up, and it was a good idea to call back.
Here's what I wanted. Here's why I went there. I didn't want them to say, "Oh yeah, it'll be available," because I'm like, that's suspect. You don't. I wanted them to say something along these lines, like, "Yeah, your address is in the system. We see that it's new construction. There's a ticket in for the team to go out there. I don't know when it'll be done." That's all I wanted to hear, was like that something is going to get done. They were just like, phase 7 could be never. Maybe you'll never get internet. I'm like, what the fuck? And I can't, like you said, I can't go, do you want my business? I'm like, no, obviously, because we didn't install it at your house. We don't give a shit about your business, because we know as soon as we install it, you're going to get it anyway. You know, you got HughesNet for 8 months. You're just like, let me get some of that Comcast.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. What all those things I said.
Comcast. God damn it. Phase 7. So that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear, like, yeah, we know you're phase 7. And I said this at several points in the process. I said, I understand, because they kept telling me, well, it's Saturday. Like, I know what day it is. I'm aware of the day of the week. And I know that the people that do the wiring and shit, that the people you need to find out stuff from aren't here. But I'm here to ask you, when can I talk to those people? When can I find the things out? Well, go back there and talk to her. And then I'm just, yes, I'm aware it's Saturday, and I'm aware I can't get an answer today. But all I want to know is that I can get an answer at some point. Someone can give me a definitive, no, you're not going to have it. Just be honest. But they're like, you might. Have a good day.
I'm telling you, it's when you know what you do. Get on Twitter. Do a little complain, do a little nag. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you've had this situation. If you could DM us the details, we'd love to help you."
I'm telling you, as soon as we stop recording, I'm doing that.
I'm telling you, you hate to do it. I hate to take advantage of it, but it has worked 110% of the time. Whenever I've had an issue with anything like this, I'm just like, these motherfuckers don't know what they're doing. Here's what happened here, and they're just like, whoa, because they don't like that shit, So they fucking jump on it, and these people over there aren't as dumb, and they just like, oh, we had the answer all along. They just didn't do it. They just didn't do it. Jim.
Do the thing.
They do the thing. Now I've Googled while you were ranting. I Googled phase 7 Comcast.
You fucked.
And no, it's much worse than that. There's no results for it.
On all of Google?
There's only one thing that there's only one Comcast related thing that popped up. And it is the Comcast Cable Law Enforcement Handbook. It's a PDF. It's a law enforcement handbook for Xfinity Comcast. Now, I don't know what the fuck you did, Jim, but I'm pretty sure you go to jail. So, I'm so sorry. And I searched phase 7. There's not even a phase 7 in there. I think they're kayfabing you. I think they're working you. I think that's what they say when they have a customer they don't want to deal with. They're like, we got a phase 7 over here.
No,
Jim
I'm
is
tweeting
Googling,
right
so
now.
he's distracted. Oh, I'm telling you, it works. Now it's late, but I still think you'll get that message to DM us, your details, and you will get it, and you will get fucking results. It's crazy. So while Jim's doing that, I can't believe that Google search didn't yield any results. Like even like a worker on like a Reddit post, like, man, you know what I hate? Phase sevens, and here's what
I'm
a phase seven. Like,
hashtagging
there's
that.
nothing
Phase
there.
7.
Hashtag.
And then
Phase
I'm
7.
doing hashtag, is this the MCU?
Now,
So here's, let me read my tweet. I can't believe how
hell
badly
yeah.
at Xfinity is treating us. All I want is to know when I can keep at Xfinity Internet for my new home. Hashtag disappointed. Hashtag phase 7. Hashtag is this the MCU? So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that we'll get a response. You know what would be great is check it before we end the show. We've got about 15 minutes left. If you if you get a response in the next 15
Phase
minutes,
7.
that'll be great.
Phase 7. It's phase 7 at this time.
So I'm so sorry about what's happened.
When was
but your
phase 3?
7?
I seem to have missed that.
Well, phase 2 was when the Xfinity thing happened, and I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, we tried to not talk about Halloween
Fuck it.
2018
Oh.
for a while, so we're not going to talk about it. But then we said, "Fuck that! It's our podcast." So we've been talking about it. The movie comes out in a couple weeks. So,
I'm so excited.
yeah, isn't that nuts?
I know
isn't
I'm
that
excited
nuts?
because I had a dream that we'd both seen it. This was 2 nights ago. I had this dream. It was a very vivid dream. It felt like hours long. And it was very bizarre. It was nothing like any Halloween movie had ever been. But in the dream, we were like, that's what they needed to do. That's exactly how they needed to do it.
They did it. Yeah, but you said in your dream he didn't have a
he
mask.
had it, but it was like, just be nice to him. Don't make him put the mask on. Like he was just sort of like this mongoloid guy. "Ugh." And then I don't know if that's probably not PC to say that, but it was like if you'd get him really upset, like if you kept him away from Lori for too long, he would put the mask on and start killing people. He just wanted to he wanted her to himself. She's my Laurie Strode. And then he would put the mask on and just start murdering people. But at the end,
Very cool. Very
but at
cool
the
dream.
end, he had a syringe and he extracted
Oh.
himself out of himself and injected it into another person. And that's Michael Myers now. And he extracted Laurie Strode out of her and injected it into another person. So it's they'll never find us now. But that's because I was watching the Jurassic World 2 right before I went to bed, and they take the T-Rex blood out and stick it in the raptor. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
so that got in
But
your brain.
I'm so pumped for it. It had nothing to do with Halloween, but I go to bed and I'm like, movie? Halloween. That's what I'm dreaming of.
You were like, "What a good dinosaur movie that was."
Halloween.
Good night, honey. Michael Myers. There he is. I like the idea. I don't not necessarily as a Halloween movie. The thing that you said, where he has to be by her, and when he's not, he kind of loses his shit. I think that's a really cool idea for
I remember
something.
in the dream, all of a sudden I was part of the movie, and I was just this ancillary character that didn't matter. And Laurie Strode's in the front seat, and he pulls into a gas station. He's driving, and I'm in the back seat. Michael Myers gets out to pay the gas attendant, and she's like, "Go out, we can escape, we can escape." And I was just like, "No, you don't want to make him angry. We're gonna stay right here. I can't move." I was so terrified. He's gonna put the mask on. It was very scary.
It just hangs like a keychain at his fucking waist. He's just like, "It's always here if I need it." But I want to talk about Halloween, not because it's coming out in a couple weeks. I don't want to talk about the new movie. In fact, I want to talk about the Halloween television show.
What? Is this a long
Apparently-
forgotten show, or is this a show that has not yet come to pass?
Apparently, Malik Akkad has been working on this for quite some time. I'm going to read some quotes here about this
Okay.
Halloween TV series. He says, it's something that we've had for a long time, and I definitely want to see it done. When we started doing it, this was in development about a decade ago, and we know where the fucking franchise was a decade ago. So there wasn't going to be a fucking Halloween TV series a decade ago. So now, obviously, the fire is rekindled here. So people are interested, unless you're the fucking director of the movie. He's just like, I don't know if people are going to understand who
Let's
Michael
reshoot
Myers
the whole
is.
first movie.
Fucking guy. At the time, I think the thought was we don't want to cannibalize the theatrical. Let's keep it as a theatrical event movie. If that starts flowing down, we would address TV. Nowadays, we all know TV is pulling out ahead of theatrical in a way that surprised everybody, certainly me. Now, I hate the way this man talks. This is the fucking producer speak. It's like, theatricals. Oh, yeah, I love those theatricals. Talk like a human being.
How many times a month do you have to hear people talk like that?
They'll make shit up that thinks I hate it. The one we were developing and that I still feel very strongly about, he's involved in it, referring to Michael Myers. That's really all I can say about it now. It wouldn't look anything it wouldn't look anything like your traditional Halloween movie, but he's in there, as are a lot of other characters, but used in different and interesting ways.
Here's all I can say about it. We want to make one. We're seeing if Nick Castle can do it. He's busy with another project right now. He's playing Michael Myers in a Halloween movie. Tried to get him for the show.
I don't know if they can get Nick Castle.
He's over there playing Michael Myers. How's he going to play Michael Myers?
See, and that's a guy I think he'd play Michael Myers in 5 active productions. He'd be like, "Yep, I'll do the stage play. I'll do the podcast.
I'll write an album.
I'll do the street
perform
performance.
as Michael Myers."
Yeah. I'll do the audio book. I wish I could talk more about it, but it's something we're looking at very closely. So this is a lot of, once again, producer speak for we don't got shit. I mean, we considered it, of course. We've considered it. We've considered everything that might make us money, TV show, whatever the fuck, web series. I'm sure we've discussed that. Right now, the franchise is hot as hell. So I expect a sequel to this movie. I haven't read any reviews, but I know they're positive. So, and they were saying the box office for this was going to be at least 40 to 50 million, which is pretty good. We'll see what happens. Definitely a sequel, if not a sequel, some sort of offshoot if they want to do a TV show. But yeah, this is just a lot of fluff, a lot of producer speak, a lot of nothing. But I don't know how a Halloween TV show would necessarily do.
Well, I think if you're
that.
thinking in terms of like Lethal Weapon, the TV show, yeah, I don't know either. But like a 10-episode Netflix, hour-long show a piece, unrated or whatever. I think that's the future. I think that's the future. But don't give me this.
Yeah,
don't give me this.
Yeah, shows.
He's in it. But don't give me Gotham, the Halloween show, where it's like he's a little boy for the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And the parents are just arguing.
We're just gonna call it Haddonfield.
Dr. Loomis is young and he's trying to find out what's going on with this little boy's mind. Like, I don't like shows like that because I know what happens at the end. Halloween the movie happens.
Yeah, it's all about these shows. A lot of them on Netflix. Ozarks comes to mind, where they're whatever they are, 8 to 10 episodes, but they're essentially really long movies. Probably maybe 2 to 2.5 movies worth of material in there, but it's all very smooth with the pacing. But yeah, you definitely wouldn't want like a Haunting of the Week, a Michael Myers. You wouldn't want to do anything like that. You'd want a long form series there over the season. But they're focusing right now on all the theatricals.
Like a Stranger Things. Like, give me like a 10-hour movie, like a 10-hour Halloween movie. Don't even give me like American Horror Story.
because, and I think that's what they would do. There, you have Stranger Things, which we're all familiar with it, and then you have the old school TV version of that, like in Erie, Indiana. And I'd be concerned that they would go the Erie, Indiana route and not a Stranger Things, modern do television
Right.
well route. But they're not going to do it. Why are we talking about this? They're not
But
going.
even shows that I love, like Supernatural, like just regular shows like that, American Horror Story, is like groundbreaking as it was for like a regular TV show to do what it did. It still had the like swings of the season, and like we were joking a few seasons ago when they were like, you're gonna hate it up until episode 6, but then it's really gonna pick up. Just wait till episode 7 on like week 2.
That's when I got a new shipment of cocaine in, and the writing really went crazy, and that's what people like. They like
here's the
crazy
mid-season finale.
I fucking
just don't.
I started watching on Netflix American Horror because it's October. It's spook season, so it's like American Horror Story season 3 freak show with the killer clown guy.
God, that was
super
3?
cool. I think it was 3, and I start watching it, and I'm like, yeah, that part's cool. There's the clown, very cool, very good. This part's okay. And I forgot about the flipper boy. He had like, look at my hands, and he's like, I forgot how sexual the show is, and I hate that's my least favorite aspect of American Horror Story. And he's like fingering this housewife with his fucking flipper hand, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I think I'll watch anything else.
You didn't like when the nun was possessed in season 2 though? Like that was kind of hot. Okay.
Yeah, some of it's.
I think season 3 was Coven, and season 4 was Freak Show. Because I think season 3 was the witch one, and I was tapped out after like episode 3. I'm like, I'm done here. I'll wait till the next one, and I've been waiting for the next one since season 2 is over. I'm like, let me know when the next one comes out.
They're 3 episodes into the current season, which I think I'm DVRing. I'm gonna go through them. I'm gonna see if it's worth the shit. Because the last season was like the cultists. They were like a cult, and the kid, the flipper hand kid, he was kind of like he was supposed to be this charming cult guy who could get everyone to do stuff with his charisma, but it just didn't make any sense. Because if I was like, hey Jim, go upstairs and burn the house down, you'd be like, no. I'm like, well, fuck, I tried. I mean, that's like he doesn't have it. He doesn't have that ability.
And that's like it
didn't make
build.
any fucking
You don't just
sense.
go from like just meeting someone to following their every command. You get indoctrinated. Into the cult.
It's and it was very political. This was Donnie T. People weren't happy. He's a liberal creator. It's Hollywood. Wasn't happy about Donnie T in office, so it had a very political slant to it, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
I've been told by my wife that Roanoke was good.
Roanoke definitely had some good elements, even though it was kind of like found footagey, but they had different layers to it. They had some good elements. Yes.
Isn't watching the new one because she's went back and watched Coven and the first season because apparently they have something to do with this season. I don't know. So she's rewatching the original.
Well,
and I'm like, oh, this first season was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Ghost House.
Yeah.
You're making a horror television show. You've got a fucking ghost house and like a mass killer dude. Yeah. Yes. Awesome. Very good shit. And then they like this one, I think it's American Horror Story Fallout. So there's like a nuclear bomb, and they're in some underground bunker of some eccentric old lady. So it's one of the old lady cast members that they have every fucking season. We'll see. Let me know what she thinks.
She didn't like the hotel one. She said she watched. She's telling me all this shit, and I'm like, man, how far are you? And she's like, that's the first episode. I'm like, oh, God. This person falls out the window, and then she comes back as a ghost, and he sees her. I'm like, this sounds extremely tiring to watch.
I agree. Now, Jim, we were playing video games, and we have a gaming Discord, so we'll post funny things
We
in the
will.
Discord from time to time. You know, if I want you guys to see something, that's how I know you'll see it at some point. And I put a GIF in there probably a week ago. It was probably a week today, because it happened on Monday Night Raw, and it was when Brie Bella knocked out Liv Morgan with just a shin shot to the fucking head. Now, once again, we're not doing video this week. I had the GIF lined up, but she was doing the Daniel Bryan. She's Daniel Bryan's wife. She was doing the yes kicks, which are just straight little side kicks to the chest, and she was trying to do it in sync with the yes chants because she's piggybacked that. And she's really bad at wrestling, and she fucks up it's such a simple sequence. You just kick the chest, and she gets distracted by the yessing and trying to time it. This is like chewing and walking and chewing gum.
You couldn't
She can't
say
do
it.
It's like, shut the fuck up.
This is like chawing and chewing gum.
Walking.
It's like chewing and chalking gum.
She messes up the timing, and she kicks this poor green
When you watch the clip,
wrestler.
the
right?
first kick knocks her out cold, and as she's falling, knocked out, she gets kicked again in the head on the way down. That's the worst part. Like, you can see when
It's
she's
pretty
like, "I'm
brutal.
out," but she's like fall. She's like I don't fault who was doing the kicking. Brie Bella. I don't fault her for not seeing that she was knocked out immediately, because after I watched it a couple of times, that's when I was like, oh yeah, she gets knocked out here, and then as she's falling, because she's selling it moving back with each kick, but then the one that knocks her out, she just slumps forward, and on the way down catches another kick to the head. Oh god, it's so gross.
Yeah, and I don't want to do Brie Bella bashing or women's wrestling, because a lot of them, I still call them divas, the divas wrestling, because they're fucking terrible, and they're not good, and they're dangerous. I've been saying this for a long time. They're gonna fucking kill somebody, and that terrifies me. And it's just like this. You're just doing simple kicks to the chest, and you fucking knocked her out real bad.
It's not like taking a rocker
So
dropper.
I don't. Yeah. I don't want to go that route with it. I just want to talk about this. Taz. It's Taz. Has a podcast. And on his podcast, Jim, he said when somebody's knocked out like this, and not like Dream Street, I think they might have a concussion, but fucking out, like this person was just out, stop the match. UFC rules. Stop it. Just stop the match. Because they got her out of the ring. They were tending to her, and they told her, don't go back in the match. And she did, because she's, Vince loves that shit. So she did all that. But what do you think about stopping the match if somebody is KO'd like that? I was thinking it's not bad. They do that shit in the UFC. The ref fucking dives on them like, stop hitting him.
I've been not lobbying for this. That's a lie. But I've thought about this a long time ago. And this is going to seem weird, but ever since the THQ wrestling games were out, there was an option in the rules to win by TKO. Like, you would just beat the shit out of them so bad, they just